Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Serious Strategy Gamer and it is Friday, so let's return to our Fridays for Future Let's Play of Fate of the World, a climate change game. So we are trying to combat climate change over here. Things are going, well, so-so in 2040. Let's have a look at the world. And let's have a look at the emissions in the world. So we have a handy overview over here. And if you remember well, it is 2040, so 20 years ago we started our game, and some of the things went well. We did have a couple of objectives. We wanted to reduce the carbon emissions of North America, Europe, Latin America, and most importantly China. We also wanted to manage the transition of some of the emerging countries well. So China, actually it hasn't really moved. China is still the worst polluter in the world. Even 20 years on, they haven't even botched that much, so it's barely any change. However, we have made some progress in North America and Europe, but we'll have to look at the downsides of that in a second. So on that front it was so mixed, I would say. Latin America has been halted a little bit. So on that front we were doing okay. But in guarding or safeguarding or adapting the countries that are just coming into play, things aren't going so well. So India is the second worst polluter in the world right now. They used to be really in the middle. They have more than doubled their carbon emissions in the last 2 decades, so that's obviously pretty bad. But let's go over to China. Let's start our own round, of things that are going on over here. You can see the various news symbols, but I do find it easier to look at this. So tech is going okay. Also coal is being replaced in the industry. That is good. We have signed up every nation to cap and trade carbon emissions now. In China, that I think we signed them up earlier, so they are still failing that for now, so we could have saved on that card. But you know what, it's going to be okay. However, things are very sick and there is a high migration risk, so that is not exactly good. Still, all in all, China loves us. Things are going balanced, they are happy. It is secure over here. However, they are of course still one of the biggest emitters, and we can look at the source of the emissions. It's mostly the industry and the energy sector, even though the agricultural sector has a curiously high contribution as well. Nevertheless, let's have a look at the emissions and see whether there are any changes. So yeah, things are going down in annual emissions. That's good. So they were worse in the intermediate time. You can see that the industry is losing some of its emission over the last turn, and that is an effect of the card that we are playing here, where we're trying to replace the coal usage in industry by electrical power. At the same time, we are trying to convert China to use less coal for electrical power, and that I think is very good. So we should have a view on the electricity generation as well. Still, coal is contributing 21% of that. But yeah, uranium is really expanding, as is gas and is oil, so that is also a problem. It's nice that the coal usage is dropping, but the oil usage is going up massively here, and that means that very likely we will see some oil shortages soon in the world. There's only so much oil to go around. We don't need to acquire smart grids. They will be coming in next turn anyway, so that's very good. That will give us a little bit less of that, so that is all very nice. Ideally, ooh, yes, this is the best card in the game. Playing this in China is huge. So I think apparently we have broken through a magic threshold here of $12,000 per capita. So economic growth in China does now allow us to play these 2 cards, and these are huge cards. Industrial carbon regulations means that over 25 years the industry will be reducing their emissions and energy usage by a massive amount. The drawback of course is that there will be less industrial performance, and that means we will get less income, but this is such a good card that I do want to play it very much in all circumstances. Let's have a look at the energy consumption for transport. I don't think it's actually that much. Well, we are using quite a bit of fuel for that. But all in all, we don't necessarily have to play this card. And I'm a little bit... I do want to use maybe the business and household carbon regulations as well. Let's have a look at how much we are actually using, how much electricity we are using for our residential homes. Really not that much. Compared to the industry, this is minor actually. So that might be alright. We could do a medical welfare program, given the news that we had over here. Yeah, we are seeing quite a bit of this. On the other hand, I think the best would be to commit to nuclear, so that we're not using as much oil in the industry, but rather nuclear power. So yeah, let's try to play this card. Even though it's fairly expensive, we'll have to see whether we can continue to do this. Now in India, the second biggest polluter, we have climate refugees. That's not good. We have more cancer because of basically toxicity levels, so all the bad air that we are having. It's very unstable now, and that is because they are materialist, which means they like to have own stuff. Still, the economy isn't going that great, so they feel their contentment is troubled, which means that the stability is going to very unstable, which is really not that great. Low carbon emission, so again they were signed up, but I think this turn that... So again, a failed turn for now, but I think that's going to be alright. Let's re-establish that card, just so that it's all the way here on the left. Right, what else can we do though for India? We could acquire smart grids. I think that would be a decent move. And what's your emission sources anyway? Energy, very much mostly energy, and in that it's industry. And it's because we are burning coal. That's not great. I do want to get a higher education so that we can bring up their job security. I think I would like to educate India to be a little bit more eco-aware, and we could do some job sharing so they lose this. I think it would also make sense to reduce coal power over here. Where is it? Decline coal power. I think this would be a very good set of things. Very unstable. I don't really like that, but it's not yet volatile. And with the higher education and the eco-awareness campaign, we might be able to push that down a little bit over here. On the other hand, we are really not that well adapted to storms as well, and we've just on the global level breached the 1.5 degrees of warming. Well, let's see what we can do there anyway. In North America, we have done some research. That's nice. There's more of a draw chance. We'll have to keep an eye on that. People really don't like us over here. We're getting smart grey meters, and some of the other things are good, so that's nice to see, but people don't really like us. And it was drawed, wasn't it? The Hadley cell. Yeah, drawed. So we really have to play the draw defense card. Everything else to me seems to be fine. I'd really like to get a little bit more stability up here. That would be kind of nice. What else have we got? Business and household regulations, yeah, that's still required. I do think we can see that in our electricity usage. Yeah, residential and e-commerce, yeah, it's a brilliant success in North America. Even though people really hate us, so that's not that great. On the other hand, we are doing something good for them, we're not doing anything bad for them, so that I think is okay. I'm slightly concerned that we have 3 different technology platforms over here, so we are researching 3 different sectors. 4th generation nuclear will be extremely important because we'll be using that in China to make sure that they are using nuclear power a little bit more efficiently. Quantum computing is really nice. Super tensile material, maybe not that immediately required. Right, in Europe, people do like us less, a lot of good things. Industry is using less emissions, smart meters, turbine tax, people don't like that. Strong tech advances, okay, we'll have to drop the turbine tax over here, and that means losing a massive amount of money, which obviously isn't that great. Coal-free industry, I don't think we need that in Europe. Not in this moment. We're not being warned about any negative effects, so I think in fact what we can do is do an eco-awareness campaign over here. Try to get people to like us a little bit more over the long term. We could also build some storm defenses. You know what, I think that's the more immediate goal. Again, we are being warned that things aren't going that great. Northern Africa, one of the regions that is really not that great. It's very unstable. People are angry over here. The militancy is rising. There are a lot of climate refugees. Job sharing has been in progress, so that's good. Carbon trading fails, but that will be happening next turn. Nationalism rises. There's a lot of water stress, which means less industrial performance, less healthcare. People die, more migration risk. It's really not that great. And yeah, so we'll have to... and poverty. Right, very unstable. Okay, we'll need to do something about the water. I think we could do the water management program. We could also subsidize biochar. That might not be the worst. Can we do organic farming? Or are you actually on organic farming? You're not even educated on the basics, so we need basic education over here. It's really not great. Integration program, yeah, we don't need that. So... yeah, I think we'll have to do the water management. I would actually... I'm tempted to provide security assistance because it's very unstable and we shouldn't lose a region. But... yeah, well, discourage meat consumption would also reduce water usage, wouldn't it? Water and energy usage per turn? Yeah, but all in all I think water management program is probably the best. 10% less water usage and overall water usage is growing. Agriculture 20% less. This is probably better, but this one allows us to grow our overall thing as well. This is really one of the regions that I'm very worried about. Okay, let's go to Southern Africa then. Our news over here. Generally pretty bad. Storms. Sickness. Yeah. Really not great. Okay, let's try to adapt to storms. The only thing that we can do over here. For now, at least. Probably need some higher education program as well. I'm afraid we can't really afford that for now, so that is something that we do need to deal with right now. Let's have a brief look at Russia. Healthcare program is going underway. That's nice. Less sickness. Peaceful protests. Bit less... not that stable actually over here. So... you're not emitting that much. How's your sickness level? I think it's not that bad given your life expectancy. 13% sickness level. Okay, so I think we can skip the medical process for now. You're displeased. We could do an eco-awareness campaign. I'm also very worried about the forest fires in Russia, so let's actually build some wildfire defenses. I think that's going to be okay. So we did deal with all of these. Let's go to the Middle East. Things are stable over here. That's a very good decision, even though, yeah, we have unfortunately been faced with some flash floods due to climate change, basically, which does give us very bad results. Nationalism on the rise. Yeah, you're still okay. Situation stabilizing. That was very nice. And more storms. Storms and flash floods. Okay, so I think we should try to defend against storms and such. Other than that though, I didn't get that many bad news here, did I? Our water stress level is still could be improved. Our emissions are going up, I imagine. Yes, very much. Mostly due to energy and industry. Energy... you're using gas and oil actually. Interesting. Well, what else could we do then? We could do a higher education program. Where are we in terms of money per person over here? We are close to being able to play the better category, so I think we'll keep this and hope that the infrastructure over here will increase to a degree that that is becoming useful. Southeast Asia. Less deforestation, that's nice. More stability, that's good. Signing up to that, that's okay. All in all, decent development over here. It's a little bit of a standstill. GDP per capita is still increasing, water stress. We should really do something about the forestry, though. Well, it's not that big a deal. How about energy? Using coal? It's not actually that bad, so I think I'm content with this. Obviously I would like to do more, but I don't think that's possible. Japan people do hate us over here. Less stability. There's a breakthrough in CCS, I mean. Yeah, that's all very nice, but people don't like us. Ooh, that's very nice. The cataclysm that never came thanks to us. So ask anyone in Japan about GEO and they smile. For far too long Japan was under threat from a massive flood that could have cost tens of thousands of lives, but defenses put in place by the GEO stopped the flood in its tracks, reducing the impact significantly. That is very, very nice. Good result over here. I think we want to keep on doing the business and household carbon. Well, you know what, let's drop that and let's build up more defenses. Improved storm defenses, so that people do like us a little bit more, because 2 hearts, so we were 3 hearts, we're now at 2, that's really not enough. Really, really bad. Okay, Oceania, I think things over here are somewhat as you would expect. Eco campaign, they're still consumerist in outlook, but they're content and things are stable. Good storm warning system, that's extremely good for us. Oceania tech booming. Peace reigns. Very good. Very happy about the situation over here. Don't need to do that much about this. Latin America then. Stable. Very, very bad. You're angry. More drought chance. Drought and storms. Okay, so let's build up some storm defenses. We actually have already improved drought defenses. We could do this now, but this wouldn't improve it overall. It's just adaptation, so we're not building up defenses, we're just reacting to the things on an ongoing basis. So we'd have to spend this all the time. And I'm not sure this is the right way to go forward over here. How do we look here in terms of money per person? We're actually pretty well advanced, so we can potentially play some of the more important cards. Industry and energy. Energy is being generated from gas, also from renewables. It's mainly used in industry. So we should actually try to play the industrial carbon rex card. And that's fine. Good, that does actually leave us with quite a bit of money left, and I'm happy about this situation, obviously, because we can do a couple of other things now. Most importantly, I think we need a little bit more wiggle room in North America. Just three research cards. Research is very, very good over here, but I think we should be playing it somewhere else. So specifically we are playing infotech, energy and materials, so all of these 3. And we would get to the end of the tech tree between 115 and 75 years. In Europe it would be much slower, Japan as well, Oceania as well. Still, I think it might be sensible to go buy another card in Europe and invest into materials research over here. That means in North America we don't need to do this anymore, and we can focus on a couple of other things as well. What was going on over here? Yeah, just the drought. That's okay. Yeah, and since people don't really like us, we could do some other things. We could really do some wildlife conservation. Conservation. Yes. Right. Doesn't seem to be quite possible right now. Eco-awareness wouldn't be the worst, but in the long term I do want to continue to expand oil production over here, maybe. You know what? Let's do that now, because that will make people like us a little bit more. They are, after all, consumerist in outlook, so that's actually pretty good. Yeah, and that still leaves us with some money. We only have 2 cards in Southern Africa. India could always get another card. Northern Africa. Things are very unstable over here. Russia as well. So where do we stand in terms of emissions? We have 3 people in the Middle East, and they are one of the biggest polluters. So I'm tempted to buy another recruit over here. On the other hand, in Southern Africa, we only have 2, and this is growing extremely quickly. India, I don't think we have the money to spend more there right now. So Southern Africa or in Middle East or Southern Africa, basically. Okay, let's buy another one in Southern Africa and do some higher education program. Or even job sharing. That would mean they are not that troubled. How do we look here in terms of money? I think you're probably very poor. Yes, you are. Okay, so I think this is a good setup. And you know what? We do still have some time left, so I think what we can do is actually advance time. Let's see what's going on. Emissions are coming, well, not coming down, but we are seeing a reduction over here in the overall expected temperature. Remember, if we are going above 3 degrees Celsius, we are losing the game. We are at 1.7 degrees now, and we are playing till 2200, so we'd be pretty much set on losing the game. And we are also seeing that resource demand outpace supply, so uranium demand is a little bit too high now. And there's a problem. So Arctic methane release is worsened, so because we are increasing the temperature, the Arctic region is melting a little bit and releasing methane, and that is driving up all of this even more. Global coal production peaks. Actually, I don't mind. That means we'll be seeing less coal in the future. 3 million migrants, 2 million dead overall, at a world population of 8 billion. And most importantly, fourth generation nuclear breakthrough. That is very, very good. This allows for a much greater efficiency in uranium usage. Good so far. No big deviations over here that we are seeing. People do generally somewhat like us. Even Japan likes us a little bit more. North America likes us a little bit more. So that's actually very great. Good. Right. I think probably we don't see any big changes. Ooh, China. Just look at that. Just look at that. That's beautiful. The emissions over here are coming down drastically. That's a very drastic decline over here. What is this? Agriculture is going up, but industry dropping immensely. Energy. Really great. Very good developments over here. So we are seeing that now all of the cap and trade carbon emissions is in full swing. That means we are getting a little bit more capital index, workforce, less industry emissions, more healthcare spending, less sickness, more literacy. This is really good. China still experiencing water stress. Coal is being replaced. That's nice. Major energy efficiency drive in industry. And we are seeing smart grids being researched. All of this is extremely good. I think the only thing that we do want to change in China is we do need 4th generation nuclear power. So what I propose to do is get carbon capture and storage via a card. That will be very costly, but it does allow us to basically use the nuclear card here to switch over energy production a little bit faster. We might actually drop out of the decline coal power and use to commit to nuclear. How do we look in terms of energy? What's causing the big drop in energy? Yeah, it's mainly uranium. Yeah. This is very good. We've basically replaced coal already. So we actually don't need this card anymore. And that's fine. It's very good. So the only other issue here was water usage, so we might as well use the water management program to help us deal with that. Fine. Very good. Love it. Right, what else have we got in terms of emissions? India. India's being so bloody difficult. Crippling legislation, agriculture is decreasing, Your green outlook is increasing, so you are slowly changing there. Gas drilling unfortunately contaminates water, and that's very bad because India has a water problem. At any rate, things are unstable over here. Joblessness is incredibly high. Nationalism is high. Sickness is high. This is really, really not great. So let's see what we can do. I think what we should be doing is at the very least do the job sharing initiative. How do we look here in terms of population? It's probably increasing again. It is. We might want to do the one-child policy again at one point. But for now I think we should be content with this setup. Right, let's go to North America, see what's going on over here. 4th generation nuclear being researched, gas drilling contaminates. It's not such a big problem in North America because the water level over here is a little bit better. Anti-fraud efforts are going on well. Healthcare spending. So rich, this is also an effect of the cap and trade. So in rich regions you are seeing a little bit less sickness, more literacy, healthcare spending. So all of that is nice. Nuclear proliferation. Yeah, I'm not too worried about that for now. So, you know what? This seems to be going on alright in North America. There's not that much that we do need to fear here. Energy. I mean, you're still using a significant amount of coal. And probably your transport could still use some improvement. Industry. Is industry using coal? A little bit. Very much a little bit. So what we actually might want to do is just reduce the coal power usage. It does mean we'll be using a little bit more nuclear power and all of that. But I don't think that's that bad because overall we do have the new technology over here, the 4th generation nuclear power. And very soon we will be getting better photovoltaic cells. Quantum computing is still some way off. Yeah, 2nd generation biofuels. It's going to be so-so. How does Japan look, by the way? Yeah, next time we'll be getting error results. That means we can do some geoengineering, which is going to be interesting. Right, still overall, I do think this is a good setup in North America. How do emissions look globally, by the way? I do want to find that out. Emissions, so... they are growing. China is decreasing. So basically we can see that Europe has been decreasing significantly. North America has been decreasing significantly. Latin America has been somewhat stable. Middle East is expanding dramatically. Europe, India. Just India is taking up all of this stuff that we're reducing elsewhere. Northern Africa as well, Russia a little bit. Yeah, but this is really, really unsustainable. Do need to deal with India so bad. So badly. We might have to buy another card here, guys. But you know what? I think with these 3 areas settled, this is a good place to put in a card. So do leave a like if you want. Do subscribe because next week we will of course be continuing our little let's play here. So thank you very much for watching, guys. See you next week. Bye bye.